Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Kortensia.
Oh, yes, you're the weather girl today. I think you forgot that. She's the weather girl.
I'm the weather girl. Okay, it's breezy today and partly cloudy with a 30% or low chance of showers. The high is 88 degrees and the low is 73. Please, as usual, walk with the umbrellas because when we least expect it, it does rain.
Don't worry, I'm longing for the day when you read the weather and we have the whole thing behind
us. I know, and
full works.
Hey,
we're coming.
Ooh.
All right. So, speaking of the weather, have you been enjoying it?
Loving it. I love the cold. Love the cold. What about you?
I love the cold too. Okay, so yeah, I think this is thrown in there for people to realize how similar we are. I don't know.
Very
Did you get
similar.
that? Same tea. They had to mix it up on us yesterday. By the way, really good job. Thank you for that.
I mixed up mine again today.
Oh,
I added
no,
a
you
green
changed it.
green tea bag to boost the metabolism.
Okay, all right, awesome. Well, we'll get right into the latest. So, Prime Minister Harris says the construction sector is expected to provide more jobs and stimulate economic activity in 2022, and this from SKNIS. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis, in its continued efforts to bolster the local economy, has invested in capital projects including infrastructural and housing projects. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, during his first press conference of the year on February 11th, said, quote, "The infrastructural and housing projects should lead to more jobs for our people, resulting in higher incomes and overall improvement in the quality of life." He continued, quote, "The private sector investments, including the Dewars Housing Project and public-private sector partnership projects, such as the Liamiga Housing Project, the new correctional facility, and other ongoing CBI projects will assist in stimulating economic growth during 2022. The Prime Minister continued, stating that we expect NHC to recommence housing construction by the second quarter of 2022, and we are optimistic that the credit union project launched last year will yield good deliverables in 2022. Lots of things going on in the housing sector.
I know a lot of development in infrastructure, so that's good for all of
Our
us.
economy, exactly.
Yeah. Now on to our second story. 23 security officers complete SCASPA's basic constable training course. This from SKNIS. The St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority, SCASPA, in collaboration with the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, held a 2-week basic constable training course with the objective of building capacity and exposing recruits to various disciplines that they can be adept at in becoming security officers at SCASPA. A total of 23 officers successfully completed the training course. During the closing ceremony held on Tuesday, February 15th, SCASPA Security Manager Louis Hendrickson says, "We at SCASPA are very grateful to the St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force to have accommodated this training here at the training school." He continued, "SCASPA has always had its sights set on the development of people and people empowerment, and the fact that we have set the standard higher than we have ever had before speaks of the quality of persons we want to attract into SCASPA and particularly into security."
Good initiative. Feeling more secure already, are you? All right. So Weather Girl is smiling, and you're also News Girl today. Oh, we're continuing with number 3. Last in the local story, this from the Nevis Island Administration by way of press release. As the official countdown to the Caribbean's greatest summer line, and that is exactly what it is in quotation marks, begins, the Nevis Culturama Festival has launched a slogan contest for Culturama 48. Mr. Antonio Abernathy Liebert, Executive Director of the Culturama Secretariat, listed the guidelines for the contest as follows. He said, quote, "The contest is open to all residents of Nevis. Slogans should be short and catchy, no more than 8 to 10 words to capture the spirit of the Nevis Culturama Festival. Slogans should have never been used by any other festival or carnival committees, and all entries should reach the Secretariat at the Cotton Ginnery Mall in Charlestown on or before 4 p.m. Friday, March 11th, 2022, end quotes. And entries can also be sent via email to slogan@culturamanevis.com. So lots happening there. Exciting news.
So that means we're going over back to your family in Nevis and we'll be partying for Culture.
Well, I don't know. I think I need to send my slogan first. Maybe we can work on something during the break. And when we come back, well, we won't share it because then, somebody else might take it.
Might steal it. Yeah.
All right. So we wait. See you guys on the other side of the break. More in the latest to come. Stay tuned.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom. No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. We now move on to the latest in regional news. From CMC, Bermuda's Curtis Dickerson, a former banker turned politician who shocked resignation as finance minister just days before he was due to deliver his national budget in Parliament, has caused upheaval in the ruling Progressive Labour Party. Says he intends to concentrate on his job as a constituency member of Parliament, but he would not be drawn on his resignation from the key post, telling the Royal Gazette newspaper. He was not ready to go public with the reasons for Monday's dramatic exit from the front bench. Well respected across politics and in the financial world, 55-year-old Dixon was talked of as future premier of the British Overseas Territory, which is currently tackling a national debt of $3 billion, exacerbated by the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. The Gazette said it understood the resignation may center on disagreements over a deal with Miami-based developers GenCom and renovations at the currently closed Fairmont Southampton resort, although no official reason for Dixon's decision to quit has been given.
Sounds like an interesting story to follow.
Yeah.
Perhaps we'll have more later on.
Later on.
All right, so moving on to international news, this from CNN. President Joe Biden has rejected a request by former President Donald Trump to shield White House visitor logs from the committee investigating the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, including appointments for individuals granted entry to the White House complex that day. In a letter to the National Archives, White House counsel Dana Ramis wrote that Biden has determined that asserting executive privilege, quote, is not in the best interests of the United States and therefore is not justified as to these records and portions of records, end quote. The New York Times was first to report on Biden's decision. The National Archives provided these documents to the current White House for review in late January, and they include, quote, visitor logs showing appointment information for individuals who were processed to enter the White House complex, including on January 6, 2021, end quote. Following on the letter from Ramis, the National Archives sent a letter to Trump on Wednesday informing him that they would be disclosing presidential records that the former president had argued were privileged, including White House visitor logs, to the Select Committee. Interesting. This never goes away.
And it doesn't seem like it's gonna for a while.
Well, there you go.
Investigations are ongoing.
But we will go away just for a little while, and we'll be back in a moment with more of Good Morning SKN, so don't you go anywhere.
We will be back.
Next, please.
Good morning, Mommy. How are we today?
We are okay. I brought in Bobby to get her first HPV vaccine to secure her from this cancer-causing menace. I'm just trying to make sure my girls have a chance at enjoying life, you know?
You look unsure about something. Are you okay?
I'm a little nervous. My boyfriend found a lump here the other day, and now I'm freaking out.
I understand how you feel, but let's take care of Bobby first. First, let me explain about this vaccine, the HPV vaccine. The HPV vaccine protects both boys and girls. This vaccine can prevent most cases of cervical cancer and some cases of sexually transmitted infections. Mommy, that's it for Bobby. Can we talk privately for a few minutes? It's really good that you told me about your boyfriend finding the lump. I'm glad that you weren't too scared. Mommy, when was the last checkup? I mean, which includes your breast examination and the pap smear.
Honestly, I don't know anything about pap smears. Is that something you do during childbirth? Because if that's the case, I would have done it twice, right?
A pap smear is an examination of your vagina and pelvis area. It should be done for females between the ages 18 to 69 at least once a year. The World Health Organization recommends that the doctor or nurse that is doing the examination remove the cells from the cervix and check for any abnormal cells, cancer, and the human papillomavirus, which causes cervical cancer. If females get regular tests, anything unusual or abnormal can be treated and seen in its early stages. The girls are being vaccinated before age 13 to reduce the risk of getting cervical cancer. Women tested early and girls vaccinated can help us end cervical cancer. Don't be afraid. It's a simple examination which will be over very soon. Come on, let's get tested.
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. In this day and age, it seems as if almost everyone is caught up in the hustle and bustle of life. Our productivity so consumes us that we focus solely on work, school, and other daily tasks that we need to complete. It is as if we have tunnel vision directly to our to-do list, and so everything else in our peripheral vision is out of focus.
When was the last time you paused and thought about the experiences of others? Well, allow us to broaden your perception by shifting your vision from your work and zoning in on someone else's life. Someone who has led a rich life and continues to do so. Someone who is well known in our society and someone who now navigates the world using a wheelchair. Today, we warmly welcome Mr. Earl Clark to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning,
it is a pleasure to have you here today. How are you doing, sir?
I am wonderful.
Yes,
I am wonderful.
I can see your smile, and I can see that you are indeed in very high spirits.
Of course, I'm alive.
Oh,
the
that's
greatest
true,
gift.
Mr. Clark.
The greatest gift.
How did using a wheelchair change your life, rather?
How
did having to rely on a wheelchair affect your life?
Well, my brother, when you become disabled, there are two things open to you, two options open to you. You either go in a corner and feel sorry for yourself and mope and die, or you can become an inspiration to others. I decided that I would be an inspiration to others, and that despite my disability, I still have the most priceless gift, the gift of life. Yeah. And so I am using that gift of life to inspire others like me, because you know, becoming disabled is so easy. You know, you can leave your house and jump in your car, and you meet an accident, and you become disabled, and you have to find the Brimstone Hill Fortress strength to survive. Because I am fortunate to be born in a country where you have an impregnable fortress like Brimstone Hill to inspire you to continue battling the difficulties of life.
And did it dampen? Well, obviously, you're talking about being in high spirits, so we know that it didn't dampen your spirit. Can you hear me, sir?
No, I'm not hearing you.
Okay, perhaps you can ask.
Okay, so Mr. Clark, we realized that using the wheelchair has not dampened your spirit in any way. Was there any difficulties in the beginnings using it? Learning how to use it, I should say?
Yes, when I lost my foot, you know, I'm a military man. I was in the police force, and you're accustomed to step off with your left foot. And it was difficult at first, stepping off, because it's my left foot which is amputated.
Okay.
And so I've had a few falls. It is not the falls, it is the getting up.
Is it getting up?
From those falls and continuing your journey. And, you know, I visit the hospital on a regular basis prior to the COVID virus. And there were times when I visit, and doctors would tell me that that patient there is given some difficulty in amputating their foot. And Mr. Clark, I would like you to go and talk to them.
Okay.
And when I go and talk to them, they eventually make up their mind to get the amputation and live. So I have been an inspiration. And there are other people, when I go downtown in my wheelchair, people would say, boy, Clark, I wish I was like you. You know, so despite the disability, I can still inspire other people, and I can still enjoy the sunshine and the moonlight and the breeze and the cold nights.
Well, you're motivating me right now, and I am not an amputee. So I want to know what some of the things are that you say to people in that condition to motivate them.
But when I go to town or when I visit the hospital, I lift people's spirits. And that is what we are here for, to lift each other's spirits and to give encouragement to those who are despaired. You know, and when people who are able-bodied find life is difficult, all they have to do is to go down by the community center where the disabled assemble every day, and look at those disabled people who are happy,
thankful,
because they are alive and they can inspire people. You have a couple by the name of Rockcliffe and Ethel. And both of them are blind and married. And they cook and they bake and they press their clothes. And Rockcliffe never looked disorganized yet.
Never.
And when
I can attest to that.
They're living challenges. And when the bus lands Ethel down at the terminal, Ethel finds herself her way up to her mother in Dorset, unaided. And you have Tony, who got shot in America, came back home, and is teaching computer technology to the disabled down at the center. And so, you know, everything is left to you. It is you who have to find the Brimstone Hill Fortress fortification in you to continue life, because despite your disabilities, you have the most precious gift, the gift of life. And if life could have been bought, I would not be around.
Absolutely right, sir. On that note, we'll take a very brief break, but we will be back to talk with you more right after this. Stay tuned.
Okay, my brother. Okay, my brother. Thank you very much.
I mean, I say St. Kitts, Nevis, you don't know Infamous I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts, Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mass up furlough, sanitize, observe the protocols all about. Be wise, mass up furlough, sanitize, me family fitting boat, and you. Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are speaking with Mr. Earl Clark about aging gracefully with limited mobility and about being an inspiration to all of us. At this point, we're going to take the opportunity, Mr. Clark, to ask you about other aspects of your life, beginning with your involvement in community activism. What can you tell us about that?
Well, my brother, when we arrived on planet Earth, we arrived not to accumulate wealth, but to be of service to our fellow men. In as much as you have done it, Matthew 25:40, in as much as you have done it to the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. And so my intention is to be of service to my fellow men. And you know, brother, there are two kinds of birds. You have the yardfowl, and what the yardfowl does, the yardfowl scrabbles and is content with whatever comes up, be it centipede, worm, bug, or cockroach. And what does the eagle do? The eagle soars high above, and in soaring, that eagle has choices. It can fly over the mountains and pick out and hills and pick out the best of what it needs. And it can fly over the oceans and it can pick out the best of what it wants. And so I decided to be an eagle, and I must be of service to my fellow men. I hold no grudges against anybody. As a referee, soccer referee, I can criticize anybody, but I don't hold malice within my heart. And people must always respect me for who I am. Earl Clark, who cannot be bought or sold, and who will stand for the right, though the heavens fall.
Okay, Mr. Clark, you made reference to being an eagle, and we know we are still in an ongoing pandemic. How did you manage having to stay at home so much?
Well, what happened is that prior to the virus, I used to go to town every day, but I have limited my visits to Bastille, the capital, and I stay home most of the time, and I do a lot of writing, and so I don't get the hugs and the shake hands like I used to do when I used to go regularly, and when I go to town, I have to climb 15 steps on my bum seat, and because nothing must deter you. If you are determined to go into Bastille and you have to climb 15 steps, you climb them and you jump in your wheelchair and you wheel yourself up to the top of the street and you get a lift and go down to Bastille. Nothing in life must deter you. The only person who can deter you in accomplishing anything is you yourself.
Well, Mr. Clark, we're talking about you and your entire life. So in your younger years, we know that you were very active. You mentioned some of it before. And you were the owner of a gym. And you worked with different sports teams as well. What can you tell us about your experiences there?
Well, with my gym, I had to inspire others. Young people came to the gym. I had to give them the assurance that they are somebody. And that when, especially had some schoolboys coming to the gym, and I had to be lecturing them that you will feel differences in your body, but that does not mean that you must go and pick fights. You must remain yourself and make people respect you and walk away when arguments arise and might end up in fighting. Walk away. That is the greatest gift. Walk away. And I have been involved in all kinds of sports. I was a soccer referee for over 20 years. I trained the netball team 1973 and 1984 to victory, the Indian victory. I trained in 1985. I trained the national football team to victory, the first OECS championship. I formed, along with Leroy Pontine, the Newtown football team, which has been champions for 4 straight years. The only team to achieve that.
Okay, that's good. Do you still exercise today?
Beg pardon?
Do you still exercise?
Of course, of course, of course. And one of the things, and I would give you this little tip, before coming out of bed every morning, put your hands straight out behind your heads with your palms up and stretch your toes forward and stretch your hands back and count 3 sets of 10s before you come out of your bed. And that
I'll try that tomorrow.
Restore the flow of the blood and make you feel much better for the rest of the day.
Okay, I'll try that. We will try that.
All right, well, Mr. Clark, we are just about out of time, but one final question to you is, what advice can you give to persons, particularly young persons or individuals who, because of varying circumstances, face life with a disability? Your final words, sir.
My brother, there's a story of a man who got up one morning and found himself without shoes. And he was ranting and raving, a real disgust to his family. And his wife gave him some money and told him to go down the shop, which was 3 buildings away from where he lived, to buy some sugar. And when he reached the shop, he saw a man in a wheelchair. And the man had everybody cackling with laughter. And you know, laughter is good medicine. And when as he drew closer to the man, he realized the man had no feet, sorry. The man had no feet. And this is his exclamation, me arm. He ain't have no foot, but thank God I got foot to wear shoes. Here was that man without foot, cheering up, lifting the spirits of others. And he who had feet to wear shoes was grumbling. And so despite your difficulty, despite the circumstances which face you, continue to be an eagle, continue to be an inspiration to your brothers and sisters. Reach out and touch and help somebody up. And you know, brother, in reaching out and touching, you also inspire yourself. When I go to the hospital and I inspire people, I inspire myself.
Very true, Mr. Clark. Thank you so much. I will never look at feet the same, and I will always remember you when I look at my own. And you are that man indeed. Such an inspiration.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
More
you,
Good
my
Morning
brother.
SKN when we return. Stay tuned.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man gone in jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. The skin is our largest organ. Our other vital organs, such as our lungs and our liver, tend to get more attention. We even discussed taking care of our hearts with cardiologist Dr. Caroline Lawrence earlier this month. But while these organs are very important, it is also extremely necessary to take care of our skin and maintain a good skin care routine. Jawale Davis is not defined by any singular career or job title, but has been fortunate to assume roles such as finance manager, HR director, consultant, life coach, and most recently, an esthetician. Jawale is the founder of the brand, which is a home-based family business that recognizes the need for safe organic hair products. Today, we welcome Jawale Davis to Good Morning SKN to learn about her brand, Eden 100. Good morning, Jawale, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN. Good morning, my darling. And good morning, Jamie. How are you?
Oh, we're great. Better that we get to talk to you.
Nice. Yeah. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
So Eden offers 100% natural hair and beard growth oil using 8 organic oils. Tell us these oils and why they were chosen from among the many other options.
Well, okay, let me see if I could recall. So there are 8 organic oils, as you said. There are no additives, no preservatives in this oil. And it has the top, I chose the top oils that researchers have, they've stood by this and said that these are the oils that absolutely promotes hair growth. And that was my aim. So we have peppermint oil, we have rosemary, we have tea tree, we have vitamin E, we have jojoba or jojoba, however you prefer to call it. We have hemp seed. Did I reach 8? Perhaps. We have castor oil. I think that might be 8. Yes, if I missed any, you can find it on eden100.com for sure. But it's an oil that I'm very proud of, and it actually birthed during the pandemic, where I decided to cut all my relaxed hair off and go natural. And so I wanted something that would speed up that process. And so Eden 100 was birthed.
All right, so we understand as well that you were frustrated at the expense associated with purchasing several oil products to blend them.
Yes.
And this was possibly what led you to create Eden 100?
Absolutely. You go to the stores and you can find several oils, but they're all just that one oil. Most times you might have maybe a blend of 2 or 3, but I wanted a real boost. I wanted something that actually worked. And what you found is that a lot of the oils on the market, there's other ingredients. So you might have, let's say, vitamin E, but it might have some other ingredient that is not necessarily formulated for hair growth, but to keep that oil stable or something like that, So I just wanted something that I know would work. And hence, if there's a need, you find a way to fill it. And so that's absolutely what I did.
Well, I personally know that you have the best quality of oils. So can you tell us where you source these from?
I actually, the ingredients, so I blend it on my own here at home. I have a whole setup, production that involves my kids as well. But the oils I ordered, all high-grade organic oils. And I have my formula, which I'm not going to disclose, of course. And I blend it and bottle it, label it, and I sell it here in the US. And obviously back home as well, I have someone that sells it back home for me. So it's easily accessible for anyone wanting it.
All right, so we understand that you will be launching Eden Skin Lounge, which is a line of facial and skin oil blends shortly. Congratulations on that. Has the launch date been scheduled, and what can we expect?
Well, actually, the lounge is an actual suite that I'm going to be practicing my solo esthetician skills. So I am going to actually collect my keys today for my suite. I haven't even announced it to any of my close friends. My dear friend there probably assume, but doesn't know yet. But I'm actually going to have a solo practice offering skincare services. We'll be doing facials, of all sorts. I'll be doing waxing, and of course, I will incorporate hair growth. I'm going to be doing, along with the oil, some hair and scalp treatments, using some modalities to stimulate hair growth as well. So this is going to be, it's a baby, but I expect in a few years that it will expand, it will grow, and it will serve the purpose for which it is intended, which is to, not only, currently I work at a spa, which, offers services, but geared mostly towards pampering and, little result, but not really result oriented, but more for relaxation and all that goodness. But I want to actually change skin, and help persons that have skin issues, especially acne skin, aging skin, hyperpigmentation. Those are going to be my focus. But I want to see results. My service is going to be results driven, and it's going to be a holistic approach to aesthetics. So it's going to be mind, body, and spirit, not only, working, but because of my background in HR and life coaching, I want it to be a whole experience. And that is why I've said it's going to be Eden, because, Eden comes from way back the beginning, all, the garden, nature, naturalness, all of that will be incorporated into Eden Skin Lounge. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's scary, because the market here is very saturated, but there's enough people to go around. So I am hopeful with some good marketing skills that I will be able to, push forward and really make the impact that I want to.
Absolutely. We're rooting for you. We'll take a break in a moment. We'll take a break right now, and in a moment we will continue this engaging conversation with you, Jamalee. More Good Morning SKN in a flash. Stay tuned.
You see that new boy that just joined the school last week? He brought me a chocolate this morning because I showed him the way home from school yesterday.
You like him?
No, he's just my friend. Plus he is my neighbor. He asked me if we can walk home together for lunch tomorrow, and I told him yes.
I don't like these big boys. They tend to like to touch girls without your consent.
What do you mean by consent?
It's when one person agrees to give permission to another person to do something.
He is cute though.
Guys, you won't believe what happened the other day with the new boy from school.
What happened?
The other day, while walking home with the new guy, he followed me into my house. I thought it was okay because he seemed friendly and respectful. So I turned on the TV and offered him a soda. We sat in the chair together. Then he leaned over and kissed me. I was so shocked I sat up straight and asked him why he did that. He said he thought I liked him. I told him not in that way.
What? Girl, you should have never allowed him inside your parents' home.
My parents will be very angry if they meet any boys in our home plus kissing me.
Guys, we don't need to be burdened down with teen pregnancy and relationship problems at this time. Boys need to understand that girls are not sex objects.
Remember, you have the right to consent to every activity being performed, from holding hands to anything more, and to change your mind at any time. If your partner does not respect your wishes, this also is a form of abuse. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We're speaking with Jarrellie Davis about her brand Eden 100. And we're going to have a look at the lady behind the product. But first, Jarrellie, what stood out for me in your logo? I loved it. By the way, it's very impactful. I love the imagery.
Thank you.
The emphasis on SKN in skin, which is very subtle, such that it could be missed. I love what you did there. Tell us about that.
Thank you. It was absolutely intentional, of course. SKN to the bone. You can take me out of SKN, but you can't take SKN out of me. So that was deliberate, you know. And like I said, this is just a start. So eventually I would, you know, launch back home as well. And I don't intend to be out here all of my days. So when I decide to retire again, you know, coming back home, it'll be easy. But SKN, I wanted to, you know, highlight that. And, you know, every day I meet at least 3 new clients, and I promote, I should be an ambassador for St. Kitts, I think. You know, I speak about St. Kitts all the time. And maybe 1 out of 10 persons would know where St. Kitts Nevis is, or have, you know, maybe have heard of it. But the other 9, they have no clue. And so I take pleasure in putting St. Kitts out there, St. Kitts Nevis, of course. So putting that in my logo, I'm sure there's some, just like Jamie picked it up, SKN. Why did you put the I, you know, why you put SKN? And then that would be a talking point for me to introduce my lovely country to persons out in this area.
So Jarrellie, did you ever think you would have owned a business making organic hair products?
Absolutely. No, that was not one of the plans, one of the many plans that I had. It absolutely was not. But, you know, being the person that I am, I'm not afraid to pivot. I'm not afraid to see opportunities and take advantage of them, you know, and that's just what I did. That's just who I am. That has been me all along, you know, taking risks and walking by faith, of course, and it has never failed me. So the thing about it also with me is that I'm never chasing after dollars and cents. You know, it's always whether to help someone here, to inspire someone, to help somebody go there here, to help them get better skin. It's one and the same. You know, it's never about chasing the dollars, you know, so it becomes easy. It's not like work. It's nothing pressing, you know. So I just flow. I just go with the flow, to be honest.
That I know.
You mentioned that the market seems to be saturated where you are. So I'm curious about one of the ways that you intend to stand out from the crowd, apart from, of course, appealing to the diaspora with the SKN, which obviously you will.
Well, like I said earlier, is that I want to have a results-driven business. So that's going to be my push. That's going to be my marketing strategies, that we're going to see results. And like, again, it's going to be a holistic approach, not just you come and you get your skin done, but while on my table, like I do currently, is I'll be able to speak, because once you're quiet, you're here in my room, you know, so much things comes up. I'm able to encourage someone, you know, they might come in all depressed, all stressed, and I'm able to give them a word of encouragement, use my, you know, coaching skills, and, you know, get to the bottom of whatever is, you know, troubling their minds or their spirits. And so all of that, offering a holistic approach and not just, you know, a transactional, you know, approach. It's what's gonna set me apart, I believe. And of course, faith. I'm walking by faith, so you can't beat that.
Indeed. That was say. What have been some of your other professional pursuits?
Girl, I don't even have to call them pursuits, but it's always opportunity. Well, back home, like, you know, I worked at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort and Casino, Beach Casino, for several years. And that has served its purpose. I was in finance, and then I left at the peak of my career there, being human resources director, which was something that I brag about. You know, it was a great accomplishment for me. And after leaving that, you know, people thought I was crazy, like coming to the US for what? I really didn't have a specific plan. I had ideas and things that I wanted to try, and started coaching and consulting business. But COVID had hit right then And so I launched it in September, and by March, COVID hit. And so I didn't get the opportunity to network as I intended. And so that, and then after, you know, COVID, the place still hasn't returned to normalcy, probably never will. But the disposable income that people would have needed to get those services, although it's a service that, you know, is relevant for today and now, you know, money is, I guess, you know, they weren't able to furnish it. And so I had to pivot into something else, which is skincare. So I went back to school after having a master's degree in business or whatever. I've done that. And so now doing this allows me to just charter my own course. I'll be able to set my own schedules, live on my own terms. And so I don't set out, you know, to pursue any particular career or whatever. It just happens, you know. I might sound kind of weird, but that's just what it is.
Okay.
Well, really quickly, Jawale, I have to say, I'm envious of your dad's beard, so maybe I can get some if I use your oil. And also, could you let us know where we can find your products?
Well, Eden 100 oil, because, you know, shipping back home is sort of expensive, not sort of, it is expensive. And so what I try to do, I try to absorb as much as that cost as possible by shipping it in bulk to a source there. I actually don't have the number, but you can go to the website, Eden 100, or you can message me. I'm all over social media. Jawale Davis is my handle wherever. Or if you go to the Eden 100 pages on Facebook or Instagram, you send me a message and let me know that you're back home and you're interested in getting the oil. And so I will link you with the person at home that can really hook you up. And you won't regret it. It's a very small vial. It's 2 ounces or 4 ounces, but it goes a long way. You apply it directly to the scalp and you really massage it in. And massaging is important. If you put it on the scalp and just leave it, it just sits there. But you really have to work it into the scalp. And massaging the scalp, even if you don't get my oil, that's something that if you're having hair growth issues, that's something that you should consider. Really massaging the scalp and getting that blood flow to your hair follicles. So, yes.
Well, thank you, Jawale. This has been very informative for me and very engaging as well. I know that Kortensia will be our model sooner or later when she does the massaging. I'm putting it out there. But
look at her hair. You can see her hair is going there as well. she can testify.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again. All the best to you, Eden 100. Everyone, remember that. More Good Morning SKN
Good morning,
in a moment.
SKN.
Stay tuned.
Take care.
You're welcome. Bye.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes
or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom, but my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You're not live clean. Your girl at 16, and your daughter at 13. So girl a look me, but me no inna that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
I understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. Cause no man's alone, do what's right, alright. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Let your mommy roll up to roll out.
各位朋友，大家好. Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao bango!
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Hansel Fitzroy Manners was born in Hallground, Gingerland, Nevis in 1944. He received his early education at the Gingerland Boys' School, the Gingerland Senior School, the Charlestown Secondary School, and since there was no sixth form schools in Nevis, the St. Kitts Nevis Grammar School.
Hansel Manners is the author and poet behind the books Bambouche and the recently published Beyond the Bush and More. We warmly welcome Mr. Hansel Manners to Good Morning SKN Expressions. Good morning, Mr. Manners.
Good morning.
How are you today? Okay, we cannot hear you. Can you repeat that for us?
Good morning to all our listeners.
Oh, now we can hear you. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so can you tell us when did you publish Beyond the Bush and More?
Beyond the Bush and More was published just a few months ago, that is in December 2021. The actual launch date was December the 8th, and we had a good launch in Gingerland.
Okay.
All right, what can you tell us about the book itself, particularly with respect to it being categorized into three elements?
Beyond the Bush and More is about Nevis. Everything in it is about Nevis. And let me just, for our listeners, say what the three categories are. The first section deals with life as it was in Nevis in the period 1940 to 1960s, the 1940s to 1960s. I am an older person, one would say. I'm 77 years old, so I grew up in the 40s, 50s, 60s as a young person in Nevis. And in the first section, I sought to tell the story of what life was like, because I'm convinced and I know that the youth of today hardly know anything about life as it was. Maybe that's our fault that the story has not been told, but they know nothing about life. My own daughter was surprised some time ago when I indicated to her that we used to grow sugarcane in Nevis. And I maybe expected, I thought she would have known that, but she said, what? Sugarcane? And so we have the stories of people in the 80s and the 90s and the 21st century not knowing much about what happened 60 years ago, especially so because we are in the age of fast-moving events and technology, and the youth are very consumed with the now. And as I said, no fault of their own. They know very little of what life was like 50 years ago. That was
Beyond the Bush, why that name?
Interesting question. I struggled with a name for some time, and that was not the original name. My first name got the thumbs down from my younger brother, who was my editor. And so I had to go for a name that would capture people's attention, but at the same time would capture the essence of the book. And it occurred to me that Nevis is a very bushy place. as you would know, I assume you have come to Nevis. Nevis is a very bushy place. Some would say a very leafy place, a very treey place, but it's a place is not. Drive around the countryside, there are mango trees hanging over the road, the branches hanging over the road, and there are trees everywhere. And so I bought into that idea of bush. And the thought came to me that behind the bush, behind the trees, there is a story of life as it used to be, lots of stories behind the bush. And that was the idea behind the name, Behind the Bush and More. I thought it was a great title, but sometime later when I clicked into Amazon, I found that there were other books by the name of Beyond the Bush. So I'm happy to know that mine goes a little further. It's Beyond the Bush and More. I haven't seen any titles with that exact name.
Okay, lovely, lovely.
I have to say, apart from the title that appeals to me, the part where you wrote a difficult personal journey, I think, is the part that captures me even more. What can you tell us about that and why that caption?
Could I just say a little word about in general? As I said, the first section is about Nevis as it was, and that's basically history. It's based on actual and factual information. The second one is about, includes songs and poems about life in Nevis. There are about 12, 13 poems, and they all each speaks to a different aspect of life in Nevis. The third section is the section you just mentioned. It's called A Difficult Personal Journey. I am an accountant and banker by profession, but I wasn't always in that field. I started life as a teacher in Nevis and later branched out into the field of business. I don't know how many of your team would know me, but I actually worked in St. Kitts I've worked in St. Kitts for more years than I've worked in Nevis in my adult life. I'm very much a Kittitian as it were. And the story is about my journey from being a teacher to becoming a chartered accountant. And for years I've had this story in me, and I said, I have to tell this story because I think it would make us an interesting story. It also would tell others, including my own children and grandchildren, that life wasn't always easy. As I say in the introduction of the book, my own granddaughter, just about a year or so ago, surprised me when I was in St. Kitts and I was taking her and her little brother out to a restaurant. And as we drove quietly, she stunned me with a question. And she said, "Grandpa, are you rich?" And I was surprised, and I turned and said, why that question? She said, "Well, you have a new car and you have a nice house and so on and so forth." And it occurred to me then that that is what she knew. I was driving a new car, yes. She comes to Nevis and she knows my home, etc. But that is all she knows. She knows, and not her fault. And it occurred to me more so that the younger generation needed to know that life wasn't all that easy. So this third section is about my difficult journey from being a teacher. I taught in Nevis. I taught at the Bastia High School back before you guys were born. I was at the Bastia High School in 1972 to 1974. And that is my story, because I had to leave my family behind in Nevis. My children were all very young. And this one not only startled the listeners, but it startled me as well, because it occurred to me I had to go off to England to do some studies at that particular time. And I discussed it with my wife, and she agreed with me. And lots of people who hate her say she had to be crazy, because at that time, my last child and my third son, his name is Oren, some of you might know him, was 6 months old. And to put it, I had to go, as it were. I wasn't doing it for myself. I was doing it for the family. But it was important for me to go at that time. But even when I look back at it now, and I say, wow, 6 months old, and I left them and left my wife, and she agreed to do it, to take care of the children. So a very human story, lots of failures, pitfalls, I landed in England, not knowing it would be so cold. It was on the 31st or the 1st of January in a very bad winter. I had never gone to a cold country, as it were, never experienced winter. And I got a culture shock when I landed in England and found what I had to face. And the story is all there in the book. I struggled. At times I wasn't successful in my exams. I wondered about how I would get through. I had to go to work. I always like telling of the story that I went to work at a car factory, Vauxhall. For 10 weeks, I worked days and I worked nights and so on and so forth. I tell the story of how I returned to England a second time, and this time I worked in the kitchen at the hostel I was staying just to make ends meet and so on and so forth. So to me, it's a very personal story, a story of love, a story of support by my wife and family, a story of struggles that it wasn't always easy. And so lots of people tell me, make the same comment to me that particular section, because it's so human and so explicit. In other words, I didn't hide anything. You know, sometimes we go away to study and we come back and we pretend that we never had any struggles, and life isn't, most times, it's not like that. So I told mine explicitly, and I think that has captured your attention.
Well, sir, we have to take a brief break, and when we come back, we understand that you'll be sharing some of your work with us. So more Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned, please.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Before the break, we were talking to Mr. Hansel Manners. Mr. Manners, to begin, can you read a script from your book, Beyond the Bush, and can you give our audience a feel of what they can expect?
Well, let me read a quick section from the introduction, since time is too short. This time I'll read a poem, an extract from one of my poems, because we haven't said much about the second section. There's a poem which I like very much. It's called Not Anymore, and it's a political commentary. Most of my poems have some kind of social message. This one's called Not Anymore, and it's somewhat political. There was a time when a color was a color, and a shirt was a shirt, or a dress was a dress. When you wore them when you felt like and felt good about yourself. Not anymore. There was a time when blue was blue and green was green, and you weren't afraid of being seen in either of them. When you dressed for fun, according to your mood. Not anymore. And there was a time when red was red and yellow was yellow, and you wore any color without a thought. When a color didn't have a meaning, didn't classify you, or placed you in one corner or another. I'll read just one more verse. Yes, there was a time when you could dress for work without worrying that people would think that you were up to something, that people would say, I didn't know that you were CPN or ARP. And maybe I should just read the final verse. There was a time when people knew that they have more power than the party or politician, that they don't have to sell their soul to the party, that the party needs them just as they need the party, that the politician needs them just as the other way around. Yes, there was a time. There was a time when people knew that, not anymore. Obviously, that's a commentary about the dominance of colors in our political discourse. I'll just sample another one, being time in mind. It's called Because of Sheep. Those of you who have
Mr.
come
Manners?
to me,
I so hate to interrupt you. Unfortunately, we are quickly running out of time. What I would like to say, though, is that the book is called Beyond the Bush and More by Hansel Manners. Yes, there it is. And the other book that you have published, Bambouche, as well.
Short Stories of Me.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Indeed.
Local author, writing all about things that are relevant to us. Much appreciated for your time, and all the best to you, sir. Thank you.
And we hope to talk to you again sometime soon.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir. More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help, let me go.
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what really happened. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Shake. Drop to the ground and take a little cover under a table or strong furniture. Kneel. Bend your head close to your knees. Hold on to a table leg or desk, please. Hands. And your head protect your neck with your arm. Face away from windows, you must understand. If you don't have a shelter to hang on to, remain in a place till the shaking's through now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave tsunami, wave tsunami, wave tsunami. Move away from doorways, windows and shelves. Heavy objects to drop. You could damage yourself. Cabinet and bookcases may also fall. Light fixtures and objects mounted on the walls. And if caught outside, find an open space. Debris from buildings may fly in your face. Kneel or sit on the ground. Cover your head and remember every word that I say. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Drop. Everybody now. Drop. I wanna see you now. Cover your head. Cover your head. Drop. Say everybody now. Tsunami. I want you to put up all your hands. Tsunami. I want you to put up all your flags. Tsunami. 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 Do not go home without permission. Stay and wait for help and instructions. Do not go down by the seat to watch the action. Just to talk about what has happened. In science lab, chemicals may drop. Exit only after shaking has stopped. Do not panic, everything will be fine. Don't use the phone line at this time. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control, drop cover and hold. Good morning, shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wait, tsunami, wait, tsunami, wait, tsunami.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. And if you're wondering why my lovely co-host is listening to music because she's zoned out or tuned into something else, you're about to find out. It's time to loosen up. And as we know, it's Black History Month, and today Kortensia and I are going to be incorporating the names of some of the famous icons into our next activity, which will be let me see if I can do it with you. Did you hear that? The Whisper Challenge. All right. So we're going to take turns whispering the names of famous Black icons, and the other person will try to decipher what it is while listening to loud music. That's why you've got the headphones. All right? So you put your headphones on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? This is a test. Can you hear me? I don't know if she's faking it or not. What do you think? All right, here we go. Oh, thumbs up. You can't hear me. So why are you answering?
Literally.
All right, so I will begin.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
That's the point of the game, isn't it? Because I'm supposed to whisper. So I'm whispering, and you can't hear me. I don't know if you folks at home can hear me. I hope that you can. If not, well, you guys in the control would know what to do, right? All right, here we go again. Again. You've got 30 seconds left. Again. Guess. 20 seconds left. Kortensia is in her own world right now. If you can figure that out, I guess the music is sweet.
It looks like you're saying Frederick Douglass.
That did not just happen. That did not just happen.
That's what it was?
Yes.
Oh my God, it took me so long.
Yes, but you got it. That's the point, right?
My God.
So I'm continuing this because you got the headphones right now. All right, here we go.
Marcus Garvey.
Oh, you're getting better. I don't think the music's loud enough back the way. Just saying. Or I need to, maybe I shouldn't do this. I can whisper and not show you my lips. How about that? Does that work? Oh.
You can stay up.
We're being told that the whisper challenge is just for me. Kortensia can actually say her answers out loud. She was whispering back.
Well, I didn't want to sound too loud because the music is like loud.
No, you can shout it apparently. It's whisper and a shout. All right, moving on. Number 3.
Rosa Parks.
This should have been charades, right? Where I'm like at the back of the bus. Remember what? No, forget the back of the bus. Sorry. We're moving on. We did that already. All right.
Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr.
Boy, I can't tell a secret. I can't whisper. Alrighty. There you go. So you got it. Yeah. Oh, so it's my turn now. Uh-oh.
It's your turn?
Yeah. So I get to wear headphones and you get to whisper.
Boy.
Thank you.
Boy. So I get my own card?
Wow, this is so much fun. I'm going to drop somebody's... Yeah, here we go.
Thanks.
So our helper just brought the card. Thank you, helper. You're generally invisible, but that's fine. I can still hear you because I'm not listening to music. You see that, right? Let's go. What do I listen to now?
Pick something. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Can't hear me? At all, at all? Barack Obama?
Barack Obama?
Oh my God. Too easy.
Good music, by the way, guys.
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou. My hearing is really good, by the way. Juicy? I'm just kidding. That's what it sounds like. Seems like. Say it again, please. Pass. Oprah Winfrey. It has a C in it or an S in it and an E on the end. That's all I know. I don't know. Say again. So Susie? That's what it seems like.
No.
I'm not gonna get that one. So should you? I don't know. That's not even a name. And we gotta wrap this up.
No.
But I'm really loving the music though, I gotta say. I don't want to take these headphones off at all. Can I keep them off? Well, there you have it for the Whisper Challenge, and the scores, I think, are in. You can hear.
Well, I didn't whisper initially. I guess I was a little off. I said it loud. That's why he probably will get more than me.
No, I didn't get more than you. I think
because
you got
I was
all
supposed
four.
to whisper, but
I think I got 3.
It caught me.
Oh, it caught you. So
Yeah,
you were
that's
shouting
why.
and I got the 2.
Yeah.
And then when you started to whisper,
Yeah.
I didn't get any more. I don't
You
want to stop this
did.
music,
You
guys.
got Oprah. You just didn't get this one.
Wow, really? There's no way anybody could. Oh, yes, you got to say what
So
it is.
it's Sojourner Truth. Is that the correct pronunciation?
Okay, and I thought that truth was like a C and E on the end because that's what it looked like. You know, so hey, that's what it looked like to me. Scores. The scores are official. Kortensia 4, Jamie 3. So congratulations, Kortensia.
Oh my God!
Yes,
Do
you won
I
the
always
Whisper
beat
Challenge.
you?
Apparently so. We're gonna see when we bring the gender neutrality back into these games. I'm just playing, by the way. All right. So more Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
Let me see you shake like good quick. Now shake. Let me see you shake.
So nurse, what now?
Let me explain. I'm going to put your feet in these 2 meter stands called stirrups. Your legs will be open, then I will insert my fingers into your vagina and make a check. After that, I'll insert this. When that is inside of you and open up, I can see your cervix better. Then I will use these other devices to help me remove the cells from your cervix and check for the cancer and the HPV. Just relax. It will be over very soon.
Nurse, that wasn't so bad. I thought it would have been very painful.
I am glad your first experience was a good one.
So, when will I get the results?
The results usually return in 3 weeks. You have to come back here to the health center and I will explain. If there's anything abnormal, I will make a referral to your gynecologist.
Okay. Can I get the HPV vaccine my daughter got?
No, I'm sorry, you cannot. The World Health Organization and Pan American Health Organization did a lot of research and found out after persons are sexually active, the vaccine does not work as well.
So what's the best way to prevent me from dying from this HPV?
Just what you did this morning. Early and yearly screening for the HPV virus and checking for changes in the cervix with the Pap test.
How do they know they're not sick?
I know, it's really sad. In 2014, 1 in 4 women in St. Kitts and Nevis were tested positive for one high-risk type of HPV. And in the last 10 years, the number of women with cervical cancer has increased.
See what I mean? But it's good that you could get the Pap test the HPV vaccine, and the breast checks all at the same time.
Yes, share what you've learned with your family and friends. We in the Ministry of Health are encouraging women to come and have these tests done every year because cervical cancer can be effectively treated if detected and diagnosed early. So let's both do our part. It's time to end cervical cancer.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, it's dear. Just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the Counseling Center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. The St. Kitts Nevis Tennis Association, SKNTA, provides a platform on which members of the community can experience the healthy and lasting benefits of tennis. Despite the challenges posed by COVID-19, the St. Kitts Nevis Tennis Association was able to hold a successful annual general meeting on Friday, 28th of January 2022, to elect a new executive to pave the way for the continuous growth of the game. Today, we welcome the President, Watkins Shiverton, Treasurer, Neil Owen, and Communications Officer, Jermaine Abel, to Good Morning SKN. It's great to have you guys talk about tennis. I saw you walk in with your rackets, and I was asking for the balls because I was eager to play, and unfortunately, somebody said I can't have any fun today, other than talking to you guys, so let's talk about that. So you returned unopposed as the President of the St. Kitts St. Kitts Nevis Tennis Association. Was that expected? Obviously, you ran, so you thought that you would, right? And you hoped that you would. But was it expected, or were you shocked by that?
Well, a mix of both. But at the same time, a very humbling experience in the sense that it shows the confidence that the membership has had in us as an executive and as me as the president over the last 2 years. And I'm very, very happy for the opportunity to serve again and to be able to push forward what we believe is nice agenda of building and developing the game of tennis in St. Kitts.
Yeah, you asked me when I came in, I think it was Owen who asked me if I play. And yeah, I said, obviously not. I wasn't as good as you guys, or I might be on that side of this interview right now. But knowing that you have plans for developing, we're going to talk about that in a little bit because a lot of things to talk about. All right, so there are 3 new additions to the executive board, but both your vice president and treasurer remained the same. Are you excited to have a mix of both new and old team members working together this time around?
Yes, because it's always good to have new, innovative thinking persons that are around you who are willing to work, and youth especially gives us type of synergy that allows the association to pull from these brilliant ideas, pull from these resources, so that together we can move unitedly in ensuring that we give and deliver to our membership and also the federation what the best that we have and the best that we bring to the table.
Oh, you guys are certainly quiet. What are your thoughts? Excited?
Yeah, we're all excited. It's just that it's a continuity of the platform that was laid before over the last 2 years. And it's something that we're looking forward to and building the game. You know, we all communicate, we all have plans. You know, just before we came in here, you know, we were discussing, you know, plans that we can implement, you know, to further enhance the game and build St. Kitts and Nevis and tennis St. Kitts and Nevis throughout the region.
All right, well, I'm going to eavesdrop a little bit, although it's going to be very public because it's going to be here. What are those plans? What can you tell us that you were discussing? Anything that you're at liberty to share?
Well, one thing that we'd love to do is to have a tennis facility, so we can host bigger tournaments. You know, if you want to host ITF tournaments, there's certain minimum requirements that you need to have, and we are just sort of at the cusp of being able to host tournaments now, but to host even bigger tournaments, we'd like to have a facility that we can do more. Perhaps President Watkins can give some more details about that.
Yes, ultimately, as Neil said, what we were able to pull off in 2019 was a World Junior Tour event, which was a tournament that attracted on the boys and the girls side, ages 14 to 18, 32 players in the main draw and 46 in the qualification round. So you're looking at about 80 to 90 players. Our current facility requirements is that to host that event, you need at least 4 playable courts plus 2 practice courts. So what Neil was indicating is that we want to take that higher. Because that's just an entry-level J5 class tournament, but we want to be able to host J3, J2, J1, and even A-class tournaments, which would attract a lot more players. And the beautiful thing about it is that they come with their parents, they come with their friends, they come with their coaches, their trainers. So a lot of stuff that we can benefit from as a nation, not only in terms of the exposure of our players, but even the exposure of St. Kitts and Nevis as a nation. So that is the type of plans that we want to implement to be able to take the game, not the way it used to be, because St. Kitts as a tennis nation was the leading tennis nation in the Caribbean. Yes.
That is news to me.
Yes, exactly. We were #1 in so many areas. But we want to take it much higher than that. We want to be able to give our players the best opportunity that they can to be the next players in Wimbledon, US Open, which you see is a very big stage with a lot of opportunities, not just for the player, but also for their nation, for their families and things like that. So it's saying the sky as your limit and to try to achieve it. But obviously we need to have the type of enabling environment by way of facilities, support from the government and support from the business sector and things like that to be able to achieve those type of things.
I was going to ask you because I have to say the ambition definitely is intoxicating. I love the thought of, you know, taking tennis to that level for St. Kitts and Nevis. And I was going to ask you specifically what it is that you need. What else do you need by way of public support or anything else that perhaps now you have the forum or the opportunity to ask for it, you can?
Well, it's to recognize tennis as a sport of choice. And currently, the major support that St. Kitts and Nevis gives is for our sister federations, football and cricket and things like that. It's easy to get sponsorship. It's easy to get persons to come on board and to rally behind these events that they're hosting. We think it's our time because ultimately our goal is to really give our young people an opportunity to see beyond the horizon. it's not just in the academic realm that you can have a career, but you can have a career in sport, which yields tremendous dividends. Again, the Australian Open, the winner walked away with over $4 million US, you see, and then a lot more that, yeah, a lot more in accolades, sponsorship, and things like that. But it's only possible when you get all the stakeholders involved, whether it's the private sector, whether it's the public sector, whether it's parents or the community in general, to rally behind an individual and to help them to achieve that potential that they do possess.
I think I should add as well, I mean, we have had great support from the government, from the St. Kitts Nevis Olympic Committee, but it's sort of a journey. We're on an upward trajectory, so we've gotten support to help us at this point, but we want to go even higher, we want to do even more, so we want to continue to receive that support, and we're very grateful and thankful for that support, but there's more we can do, and there's more we want to do, and we have the energy, we have the team, and we just want to bring our partners to continue on that upward journey with us, you know?
Right. In addition to that, to present St. Kitts as the country in the Caribbean of choice for tennis. Currently, it's the Trinidad or the Santo Domingo who are the leaders in that. And if you look at it, strategically we're positioned in such a way that we're right in the center of the archipelago, and are easily able to attract persons coming down. And in addition to that, what that does is it gives the government another avenue, because ultimately we're just focusing on vacation tourism. But sports tourism as a vehicle is tremendous, because look at it in the current situation with COVID and the shutdown, with various activities economically. Ultimately, that had a significant impact on countries, but guess what? Tennis must play.
Well,
sports must play. The Olympics must play, you see? So ultimately, it's not fickle things that you perhaps think are going to be able to generate income, but things that will generate income, because ultimately, again, these events attract such a wide audience. And as you saw in China last year, and Japan, last year, and China this year with the Winter Olympics, the games must go on in spite of the challenges.
You're reading my mind, because we're going. You're reading my mind. Your viewers will have to wait. However, we'll be back in a moment to continue this conversation. We're Good Morning SKN in a flash. Stay tuned.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom. No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by members of the St. Kitts and Nevis Tennis Association, President Watkins Shiverton, Treasurer Neil Owen, and Communications Officer Jermaine Abel. So we want to know now about the particular benefits of tennis, and I suspect that this question is going to take a more individualistic stance, because you talked about the tourism, you talked about the other benefits, benefits of tennis in general.
Well, there's no one benefit, but you're correct, benefits of tennis. I'm seeing it being multifaceted in two forms. One, there are health benefits, exercise. When you're talking about somebody who, like me, who's feeling a bit fat, you can hit the course.
I love that. You're a comedian too.
Yeah, so you hit the courts, you get a full body exercise, something like swimming. Right, and then the flip side to that, you have the academic aspect of, as Watkins alluded to, you have the scholarship opportunities to go and study and play, and you're developing yourself. And the other aspect that he mentioned as well, the money, so you're building yourself, so you're exercising, you get the academics, and then you're building a career for yourself. So it's a multifaceted approach in terms of the benefits of tennis.
Yeah, and I would also add, tennis scoring is 15 love, 30 love, 40 love. So there's a social cohesion that it gives, because again, relationships within sport go hand in hand, and tennis offers young people that chance to be able to have an outlay where they can meet others, they can engage others. In addition to that, they can work on themselves, because it is the one sport that you're not allowed to have a coach during the play. So in terms of your critical thinking skills, your adjustment, your controlling of your emotions, anxiety, the pressure, it all stems from both the mind as well as the heart, to be able to have that resilience to bounce back. That's why oftentimes when you see a match, somebody may be down, as in the Australian Open finals, Nadal is down 2 sets. What is he going to do? But now he touches into his critical thinking and his emotional adjustment, and is able to make that turnaround and win the match, where everybody saw him as that's it. And that is the type of also the personal development that it helps an individual on the court.
But one thing that I really enjoy too is the camaraderie and the fellowship.
Yes.
So, sometimes we play tennis in Warner Park, sometimes we play tennis in Sandy Point. We go over to Nevis to play. There's a very active tennis community in Nevis as well.
Yes.
And those guys, I thought I was tennis crazy, but these guys will play until midnight. They take a little break and they play some more. Yes. So the camaraderie, the fellowship, you get to move around, meet people. It's very interesting. It's very good. And as Watkins alluded, we can play with people in our own age group. We can play with younger people. We have a lot of kids in our junior program, from 7 years old up to 18. We can play with teenagers, so it's a nice mix of getting to meet people and interact.
Just to note, I'm not in this guy's category.
Well, you're among them, so greatness will hopefully go your way. The juniors program, what specifically can you tell us about your plans to develop that even more?
Sure. We launched the junior program, that's the National Junior Tennis League, back in 2018. It's a program that seeks to establish a grassroots development, so that we can invest in our kids as young as Neil indicated, 7, we go even as low as sometimes 5, 6, and allow them the chance to develop along their stages of development. So for example, it's mainly broken up into 3 stages. You have the very young at the red ball, and then intermediate in terms of the skill level, not the age, but the skill level with the orange, and then move on to the green. And it's a program that seeks what you call play and stay. Because if you get them involved at an early age, chances are that they would play, but they will also stay within the development pathway. So it is beautifully executed on various days based on the age categories during the week, where persons, across the whole rural areas, urban areas in St. Kitts come to the park, as well as in Sandy Point, send their kids there to participate in the program. It's been very, very successful in the sense that we've had, now the registration is up to about 90 plus children who are involved in the program. And we've seen tremendous development in that short space of time, where some of them were afforded the opportunity to travel, represented the country, participated in the 9s and the 12s, and reached as far as quarters till the second time they went, they won. And we had only started within a year. So it's seen accelerated growth among our young persons. And that is what we want to do, because our mantra has been that every child deserves a chance to be the champion that they are destined to be. And this affords them that opportunity to achieve that goal.
So perhaps we can just address any parents watching. You have kids that are 6 to 15 and you want to get them into tennis. We're open. We have a very active junior program at Warner Park. We also have a program going at Sandy Point. So you can reach out to any of us, or just bring the kids Monday to Thursday, from 4:30 to Warner Park.
Oh, great. And in our last few moments together, I'm not going to be left out here. I see cue rackets there. I want you to demonstrate some moves for us.
We'll show you the stance so you get to...
Oh, boy.
Because the beautiful thing about tennis is that within 5 minutes, you're actually serving, rallying, and scoring.
Oh, I love that.
Just 5 minutes of the
If you can get it over the net.
Yeah. So the main components is the stance, okay? So you want to have your feet shoulder width apart, okay? That's one. And then the grip. Just so you would shake somebody's hand.
Okay, great.
You just shake the racket hand, but right at the end, okay? And this is the ready position. Good?
Good.
So the other hand just guide it as a balance. Good? And there's the back swing where you just want to take back the racket and step forward.
Okay.
And then the forward swing, you just bring the racket making contact with the ball and just follow it through.
Well, you guys knew what you were doing when you didn't bring any balls with you.
This guy's a natural, man. You're a natural.
Yeah,
We need to get you on the court.
Listen, we also have a membership form at our website. That's tennisskn.org. And anybody who's interested in becoming a member, because there's recreational tennis, as Neil indicated, as well as competitive tennis and social tennis. So if you just want to be able to, after a stressful day, get it out, you get on the court and sign up as a membership, and that affords you the opportunity of access to any of our facilities, as well as access to persons to play with, to network with, who become your lifelong friends.
Well, I have to say.
So you can sign up. The membership is just $50.
Just $50.
Very, very cheap.
Okay.
Just before, I know you're kind of running out of time, but just before you go though, just to let the public know, we have activities throughout the year, and there are a number of tournaments planned for the year, but just to highlight, we have as we were speaking about the GA5, those tournaments are coming back to St. Kitts and Nevis later this year. So look out, you're going to see a high level of tennis in St. Kitts and Nevis. Players from all across the world will be here in St. Kitts and Nevis for 2 weeks.
And one more bonus, because first is gender equality. So we're actually launching the 22nd of this month, Ladies' Night.
Ooh.
And what that seeks to do is to provide a platform for ladies who want to get fit, stay fit, and remain fit, to have an opportunity to come on out, where there's, for the first 40 minutes, it's just training and physical exercise, and then coaching as well, and then they just play. So it's going to start from 6:30 on Tuesdays, run it to about 8:30. So for 2 hours, they can get themselves looking as wonderful as they are and maintaining.
There's no excuse. I know my co-host play tennis. I don't know if she still does. Absolutely free. No husband on that night. That being said, I want to thank you guys for stopping by and sharing so much about tennis. I've learned how to do this, so maybe the next time I do this, I'll be actually hitting balls. We'll see. More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. 'Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. 'Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up, to roll out.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. It's time to hop into our time machine. For today, we're traveling back to a time when Barstow looked much different from what we know today.
Ooh.
We're going back.
We're traveling back. Are we going to be younger?
I know. That would be a good plus.
We keep getting into the time machine, but I keep aging. I don't know what's going on here. All right, so yeah, we're waiting for those photos. Okay. Exactly. Yeah.
The only thing I recognize is the building on the end that now houses rituals.
Okay, so you recognize that building and you didn't read the caption at the top because I was looking at the picture and realized when you said 4th Street, it reads 4th Street.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying the only thing I recognize on 4th Street is that building.
So you knew
still.
it was 4th Street because of the building, not because of the word.
Because of the word.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was getting at.
That's what I'm saying. The only thing I do recognize because of the word is that building.
Look at
I
that.
look TDC.
Yeah, and the dress. You know,
Wow. Wow.
That is Church Street, which obviously got its name because the Anglican Church is at the top of the street.
St. George's
which,
is right.
surprisingly, I had a conversation with somebody a couple of years ago, and they're like, "Really? That's why it's called Church Street?" Just saying.
Just saying.
All right, yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Government headquarters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these ones don't have the word, folks. We just know.
You're something else. Because the architecture hasn't changed much, has it? Yeah.
Hasn't, yeah.
You can see Caroline Sindall. Okay, well that got a paint job.
That's in Nevis, isn't it? Nevis?
No, that's
Still
actually on
government
Church
headquarters
Street.
here?
Yeah, you can tell by the pillars at the bottom.
Oh, yeah,
and
look.
it reads it. There, the word.
The color changed.
The color change.
Yeah.
Got a
No,
paint
yeah, now I'm seeing Mary pick up the passport.
Okay, this is Old Road, Mount Misery.
wow.
So scenic, isn't it?
I wonder if this is the path that has all the mango trees. Or this is the path where we, what you call it, ATV on. It almost looks like that. Yeah, in Old Road.
Okay, I wouldn't know. I wish I could, but guys, got a camera, put me on an ATV. That's Old Road Bay. Oh, yeah.
This is Old Road
Yes,
Bay?
no.
No, this is Treasury.
Those of you who were old enough to remember what it was like when you were boarding the boat to go to Nevis and you were looking down, stepping over the wood to see the water beneath you and, being careful not to step in and fall. Yeah, that was that. That's the old Treasury building. That's where we used to, that's where the pier was.
Okay.
Huh.
Ooh. This looks like Nevis to me.
I'm just going to follow your lead on this.
Yeah, this looks like Nevis because that building on the other side.
Yeah, the Charlestown War Memorial. You absolutely got it. Yes, you're right. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It kind of houses a Chinese restaurant now. Yeah. So I recognize that.
Okay. So yeah, we're doing the spinning today. Apparently, we're in a time machine. We're spinning back to the future. You see it?
Back to
Can
the
you feel
future.
It? All right. So here we are. We want to thank you guys for joining us today. Time certainly goes quickly, especially when you jump out of the time machine.
Yeah.
That being
and
said,
when you're having fun.
And when you're having fun. Well, yeah, that first. And we definitely had fun with all of you today. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms, including, and we go through them one by one.
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and even TikTok at Studio 3 and at Studio 327 Inc.
Yeah, it's Studio 327 Inc. Right? Facebook, YouTube, you gotta subscribe.
Yeah.
Follow us, like, do whatever at Studio 327 Inc. Make some noise at Studio 327
Plenty
Inc.
noise.
Let everybody know that we're here. Leave us a comment. Tell us what topics and guests you would like to see next. And of course, this is the part where we say,
goodbye.
See you tomorrow at 8 when you start your morning with us. Bye-bye for now.